come for me unless I send for you. Thank you. All right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to come and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16. Well, we call it the Sweet and Sour season 16. I'm not feeling my best, okay? But we are going to pump through this review. I just woke up. It's just not, I don't know what happened. It was yesterday. I woke up and I don't know, cause I don't know, girl. It is what it is. So I've been, doped up, taking medicine, trying to just pump through because we still gotta work, right? But we still gotta get the light bill paid. We still gotta pay rent. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could just sit around and not do nothing, right? But that ain't my life. Anyways, so this is the Real Housewives season 16. This is Sweet 16, but again, we like to call it the Sweet and Sour season 16. So the episode starts off with Bang Bang Edie. I call her Bang Bang Edie. You know, Bang Bang. Hey. So we basically have Bang Bang Edie with her husband. Let me just say this. It really wasn't a lot happening this episode, in my opinion. It really just gave filler on top of filler on top of filler. At one point I was thinking, girl, you should just skip over this week and just put this week and next week's episode together, because I don't really feel like it was a lot happening. But nonetheless, here we are. Again, Bang Bang Edie is with her husband Mike, and she says that he promised her a new car every 2 years. Girl, just say your car is leased. Girl, just say, girl, the lease is up, and I'm getting another car. That's it. They go and look at some $430,000 or $435,000. It was an expensive car. They go and look at this car. Did she purchase it or lease it out? I have no idea. As she was talking, she was basically making a comment about the engine. They say the engine roaring makes it sound like you're having sex, something like that. The people say, and she got her leg and put it up in the air. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. But I was like, sister, they already, girl, sister, Britt, I ain't got no issues with you, Britt. I think you need to go to the other side of town on Love and Hip Hop or Basketball Wives. But I ain't got no issues with Britt. But can we have some kitchen table talk, Britt? Girl, Bang Bang Edie Cleo. We call her Cleo too. Hello. But can we talk? Girl, when she lifted her leg up in front of her husband, in front of that man, I said, this is exactly why they say you's a hoe. Because of shit like this. Because, girl, the way you lifted your leg up, girl, the way you put your leg in the air in front of your husband, in front of that stranger, girl, this is why they say you's a hoe, baby. She's a hoe. She knows she's a hoe. Okay? Now, I don't know what Brittany, what she did in the past. I'm just telling you, this is why the people say that's what you do. This is why the people say that's what you are, because the way you lifted your leg up in front of that stranger, right, looking right at you. Now, I think she had some pants on. I don't think she had a skirt on. But the way she lifted her leg up, and her husband had to tell her to put, I can't even talk. Her husband had to tell her to put her leg down. I said, baby. Now, Britt tried to change up the story. When she was telling her husband, Mike, she tried to make it seem, the way I took it was that she was trying to make it seem as though Angela came for her out of the blue. Bethany, Angela didn't come for you. She was asking a question. And because it appears that Beth is not being honest about her life, she's on the defense. Because what Angela asks, and I'm paraphrasing, is how did you lose your license? Or what was the cause of you losing your license? Because you're saying you lost your license just over hearsay. And when you think about the timeline, there's no way that happened. Girl, let's just say this is on a Monday that Kenya held up that poster board and said, "Who is this girl? You mean to tell me we found out through the blogs that Kenya had done something at her salon? We didn't actually know for a fact that it had happened. With all of those people there, no one still captured on their phone what happened, right? So how did your agency or the people that you work for, or I don't know, girl, find out within the day that it happened up until the day that Kelly had her brunch, and at that point you had already lost your license? Then you tried to walk it back and say you're under investigation. Girl, it's hard for me to keep up with Brandy's story because I remember when Brandy, I told y'all I thought Brandy was gonna be my favorite one. And I remember going to her Instagram page. This is not no alleged. Maybe the videos may not be up there. She did an interview with that guy that she talked about how she always carries her pistol everywhere she goes. And I remember her saying that she had sold her insurance agency for I think a couple or a few $1,000,000. I'm telling you, I remember her saying that. So it is kind of I am kind of confused when I hear her now talking about her. I don't know, like the way I took it is though, like, I mean, I guess we all have a boss to a certain degree. I just don't. The way that I took it was that Britt didn't have a boss in a way. You know, I don't know. I, there's something about Bang Bang and her story that just does not add up to me. And I hope it's just us or me not being able to connect the dots. But I feel like I'm trying to get a girl a pass. I don't know why I'm trying to get a girl a pass. I don't know. It's just something about her story that doesn't add up to me. And it shouldn't be this hard. If you're introducing yourself to us as a housewife, it shouldn't be this hard for us to keep up with your story. You know what I'm saying? Like Angela, there are some holes in Angela's story. There's some holes in her stories. Now, does that mean that she's a scammer? No. But I feel like Angela's not telling the truth about her life, about her sister, her mother, her husband not getting along with her family. Why was your daughter living with your mom and your sister at one point? You know what I'm saying? You this self-made millionaire. But in one breath, you also say, I think Charles is paying for most of the bills. I think her mother's home. It's stuff like that where I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Anyways, I'm getting off. Angela and Drew. Drew goes over to Angela's home. Angela basically clocked her. Girl, I talked to Marcus Jordan, and he said that y'all were not cousins. Drew said she was just playing. This is what I realized about Drew, and this is one episode. Drew will lie. This is Drew's MO. She will lie, and then when she gets caught on her lie, she'll say she's just joking. I was just joking. No, girl, you were telling the truth. No, I'm saying no. You were lying, right? But you were not joking, right? You wanted us to believe it was the truth. But now since we found out it wasn't the truth, now it was, okay, I'm just joking, girl. I was just joking, girl. I like to joke. Shamia, I don't know. Shamia look a mess. With all that money, Shamia had on the same outfit she had on to me for her promo shoot. I don't care what nobody say. She had on those same boots except they were white. She had on the same shorts except they were white. Girl, She had on a Louis Vuitton blazer, bomber jacket. But she looked just like her whole outfit looked like the outfit she had on for the promo shoot when she looked like Elvis Presley. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I will say that Bang Bang kind of, she kind of gained some points when she hit us with a little bit of tea. She said basically, even though, girl, you've made up this fight with Angela in your head, because Angela really didn't do nothing wrong, or she didn't start out the conversation wrong. But here we are. She says that basically, and I'm paraphrasing, while she's worried about me, she needs to be worried about the street saying that Charles has a baby. Now I gotta give Bang Bang her, So this was shot, sometime probably last year. A resurfaced clip of Wendy Williams hit the internet a couple of months ago of Wendy saying that she ran into Angela and basically insinuated that Charles had a baby. Now I have heard that Angela has come out and said that, girl, that ain't true. Basically, that wasn't true. So I don't know, but I guess we'll find out the truth eventually soon, hopefully soon. But Britt basically hit us with that tea that Charles had a baby. And again, I don't think, Britt's not making that up because, again, Wendy Williams has said it. I think a lot of us have thought about how Angela words thing or says things. And I think some of us also thought that Charles had a baby on Angela. Remember when she said they took a break and then they lived separately because of the incident that happened at Madison Square Garden when he got banned from Madison Square. And I was like, girl, it's stuff like that why I say Angela has holes in her stories. Girl, you're newlywed. Your husband gets banned from Madison Square Garden, and then y'all decide to live separately. Girl, that don't even make no sense. Even if Charles was someone who was targeted for being a black man, I still don't see how that, girl, you would have to really break it down to me like I'm in 5th grade, like she told Porsha, on how did that cause so much chaos and confusion in your new marriage where y'all had to live separately. Anyways, girl, Porsha's going to Nashville for her birthday. Girl, she invited 25 new girls. So I'm assuming that these are the girls that were auditioning for Kenya's spot. Girl, Manyetta. Girl. I like Manyetta. Manyetta was cool. She was cool. She was cool. But girl, are y'all really inviting? Did y'all really just? She invited Lauren. Girl, we don't care about Lauren. Lauren is cool. Manyetta, we've already seen Manyetta as a friend of. We don't care about Manyetta. She's not reality. She's not a reality TV girly like that. Even though she did better her second time around than her first time around. And then it was like 3 or 4 new girls of Porsha's friend group that I had never heard of in my life. Porsha been on our TV screens for how long? We ain't never seen none of these girls before. I don't even think, and I don't follow Porsha like that. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. Have y'all ever seen any of those girls in a picture with Porsha? At least Manyetta, I could see Manyetta being connected to Porsha. You know what I'm saying? Then of course Lauren, but those other girls, girl. So basically, they were auditioning for Kenya's spot. They didn't make the cut clearly. Hello. Angela talks about her nose job and how it was too pinched, and she was advised to put Botox in her face. Girl, Angela, you need to go see Terry. Angela, you need to go see Terry. No, no, not no, 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 you don't. Bang Bang need to go see Terry because this right here, girl, that you gonna respect me on Drake. You gonna respect girl that nasal girl because I saw the video. I saw a video, girl. Y'all TV coming out. I saw a video of Britt on Twitter when she was doing the sexy scene, and she was like, "Hi, I'm Britt Edie. We're about to shoot a very sexy water shower scene." It was she had a little lingerie piece on, and her voice did not sound like that. So it had to be. I'm assuming it had to be to that that nose job that has her voice sounding like that. Something happened. Girl, they clipped something. Anyways, so Cleo and Drew, that's what I put Cleo. They go out, and Drew basically tells Britt that she felt like she was celebrating that Kenya wasn't there. And it kind of gave, girl, I'm not the new HBIC. Now, Drew didn't say that part, but she did say that it seemed as though when Kenya got fired, that girl, it was kind of like she was celebrating in a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And I know some of y'all are very, very sensitive to what Kenya did. I don't think these girls care. I don't think Drew cares. I don't think Porsha cares. I don't think Shamia cares. Because after it happened, remember when Kenya went down to the Instagram and said she's going live? They were all in the chat with us. Again, I think that it was an initial shock of disgust, because that was my initial reaction too when Kenya first did it. But I think after it wore off, I think they were just like, girl, girl, where is Kenya? Bring her back. I really don't think that Drew is buying anything that Britt is saying to her right now. When I tell you, Drew said, girl. So Drew was saying, Britt was saying how she's an open book and you can ask her anything. Baby, Drew said, did you ever sell it? Oh, girl. She said, did you ever sell it? And then she said, did I ever? She said, the cat. Whoa, baby. Oh, God. Wasn't we just talking about selling puss the other night? Wasn't we just down here the other night talking about selling puss? We was just talking about that. Not Brit selling hers, but we were just speaking in general about, girl, sometimes a girl gotta do what a girl gotta do. Sometimes a boy gotta do what a boy gotta do. Sell a little bussy on the side, girl. Work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Girl, we talk a lot of stuff, but I'm really not, when it comes to, believe it or not, I'm really not someone to judge sex workers, um, judge prostitutes, whatever word you want to, escorts, OnlyFans. That's not, like, girl, not to say out my business, but I actually dealt with someone who, and you will never know who it is, but I dealt with someone who currently has an OF page. It's not my thing. I'm never going to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really not, we talk a lot of shit, but I'm really not like that judgy of the girls who feel like that's what they have to do in order to either survive or make a little extra money on the side or whatever the case may be. I do believe that if Britt just would have come out and just sold her tea, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It becomes a big deal when people, when you try and hide it. Because as we were saying the other night, when you think about all the housewives, Garcelle posed nude for Playboy. I think Lisa Rinna, Nene Leakes came on telling us she was a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Denise Richards has an OnlyFans to this very day. So and it's probably more I just can't even think of right now. It's not that big of a deal. It becomes a big of a deal when you try and hide it, and then on Mad Day, your enemy is going to throw it in your face and be like, bitch, that's why you sell pussy, you fucking hoe. And everybody gonna be like, because you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the reaction of everybody, instead of you just coming out and saying, listen, in my past, I was in my 20s, I had to do what I had to do, and blah, 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 blah. And then it's done, it's said and it's done. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I don't know how we got on that. Oh, have you ever done PORN? Have you ever done porn? That's what Drew asked her. Girl, bang bang starts to stutter. Ooh, sorry. No, 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 no. Girl, I ain't even got the energy today. I really don't have the energy today. I don't. Drew says that she noticed one of the dicks in the pics. Britt asks her about it. And then she says she was just joking. That's what I'm saying. Drew, you say stuff, and then when people call you out, then all of a sudden it's a joke. We already talked about when she asked her, did you ever sell it? Did I ever what? The cat. Girl, I know that's right. You better ask, did you sell some pussy? You should have a little bit of pussy. Because the girls say you sold some pussy. And Britt should have said, I did. What's up? Girl, what's up? We all doing it to a certain degree. That's what I would have said. You need to be asking me, did I sell? You need to be asking me, did I sell something to your husband? That's what I would have said. Why you worried about why you worried about if I sold something? You need to be worried about who I sold it to. Ooh, see, girl, Bree, you don't know how to switch it. You gotta switch it up on the girl. You gotta live in your shit, girl. You gotta switch it up, girl. You gotta gag the girls. And I did, because you should ask who my client. You need to be worried about who my client was. Hey, Ralph. Okay, get some shit started. Anyways, Drew and Ralph. I don't know. Drew says that she doesn't want. I don't keep girl. So Drew and Ralph go to court. Ralph gets to remain staying in the basement. I remember him saying in a past episode that he doesn't want to leave the house because he doesn't want to be separated too much from his kids. Girl, I'm sorry. That's just a part of divorce. Girl, I don't know what else to say. For most people, not every person, but most people, when they get a divorce, they go live at separate addresses. Somebody gotta go. I'm not about to be. And then the way that the scene, the way that the scene ended with Drew cursing at him through her window. He's standing on the grass at the courthouse. Like, now I have to go home to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be a horrible thing. Shout out to everybody who had to go through a divorce. But that sounds like it's a mess. Anyway, so I don't know, because Drew doesn't want the documents to be unsealed. So when the documents become unsealed, we have access to those documents, right? She says she doesn't really have any dirt to hide. She's more worried about Ralph. And also her kids seeing this stuff on the internet. Girl, I get it. I do. Because your son already found out through the internet that y'all were getting a divorce or separated. He found some article. I think it was Josiah, the oldest one. He found some article on the internet. So I get it. You don't want your kids to see that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, girl, they're going to see it, especially if they have access to the internet. Like, that's just what it is. Girl, my niece, girl, Tatum, literally, we went out the other day. It was me, Tatum, Sloan Bailey, and my sister. And no, I wouldn't have picked them up. I wouldn't have picked them up from school. Then we went out. So Tatum sent me a text message at 7:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, Uncle Rodney, can you pick us up from school today, girl?" So of course I did, because I already knew what they wanted, girl. They want to go places after school. Anyways, so I went and picked them up from school. She tells me, "Uncle Rodney, guess what?" I said, "What?" So I Googled you at school. Because she think I'm famous, girl. Girl, why she Googled me? Girl, Googled me at school. Went to Google and put Rodney the Voice, because she knows I have a YouTube page. She ran across my YouTube page with her brother. One day, long story short, my sister's stepson, he's into basketball. And one day he was Googling basketball, and my review, when OG was on the show, my review of Basketball Wives popped up. That's how they found out. That's how he found, and they were looking at YouTube together, and that's how they found out that I had a YouTube page. Oh, I think he told them, "Oh my God, your Uncle Rodney has a YouTube page." So that's how I found. That's how they found out I had a YouTube page. So anyway, she said she Googled me, and when we went out to the restaurant, she was like, "Mommy, I Googled Uncle Rodney." And she was like, "Let me see your phone, Uncle Rodney." And I was like, "Oh God." Girl, literally, I gave her my phone. She literally went in and put Rodney the voice. She was like, "Look." And then she went to images and videos. I said, "Oh my God." And then it was one that had like a lot of comments. I was like, "No," because I know sometimes people leave me. I mean, it is what it is. It don't bother me, but I don't want them to see that. One of them had comments. I didn't read the comments. And I was like, "No." And later that night, they called me. This is Thursday because they didn't have school Friday. Thursday night, Sloan called me and she was like, "Uncle Rodney, we're about to Google you again." Because they Googled me again. I was like, "Y'all need to stop Googling me." So anyway, I'm telling that story just to say that if my nieces are Googling me and I'm a nobody, you know what I'm saying? Then I know those kids are going to Google Ralph and Drew. However, it is what it is. The best thing you can do is if you tell your children the truth about what's going on, then they won't be surprised, right? Dorit, not to bring Beverly Hills into it, but you got Dorit on the other side of town, not telling her kids nothing, and then Jagger gets online and sees that mommy and daddy are separated. Anyways, what else? He's allowed to stay in the basement. Drew says she doesn't want the documents unsealed, even though she doesn't have anything to hide. Girl, I don't care about Drew and Ralph. Did y'all hear when Porsha said they were talking about getting work done? And Shamil was saying she was planning on getting some work done in the summer. I guess like some liposuction or whatever. And Porsha said, I was going to get my titties redone, but these men don't ever deserve, these men don't even deserve new titties. That's your problem, getting your body done for some niggas instead of getting it done for yourself. They get to Nashville. The house is really, really nice. Girl, did y'all see the difference in like the Black Housewives and the White Housewives? Girl, like Porsha, Porsha said, I need you to have some barbecue chicken, some motherfucking pork ribs, baby back ribs, some brisket, some sausage, some potato salad, a little bit of baked beans, some bread, a little salad on the side is cute too, some Kool-Aid, some sweet tea. But make sure you have some Hennessy, some Coke. Yeah. That spread when they got to Nashville had me screaming because I was like, "Girl, you would never see the Beverly Hills Wives pulling up, girl, to the goddamn girl barbecue chicken, girl brisket, girl, Carolina pork ribs, baby back ribs." You know what I'm saying, girl? Smoked turkey, smoked ham, girl, little tater salad, baked beans, girl, little coleslaw. Yeah. Anyways, Angela arrives. Angela was late. She missed her flight, so she had to catch a later flight. She comes in. She basically lets the group know that she invited Drew. I mean, it is what it is, girl. She invited Drew. Of course, everybody is shocked. I mean, that is a shocker because it's kind of like, girl, this is her birthday trip. You know, her and Drew are not really getting along. You invited Drew, blah blah blah, girl. But I'm sure Porsha already knew that Drew was coming. Porsha been doing this a long time. She knows. She knows what happens. Um, and then at the end, her and Angela kind of like had this fake fight because you could tell like they're trying to do something because at Porsha, in my honest opinion, Porsha knew that Drew was coming. At this point, it's just some fake fight between her and Drew. I'm not buying this beef between her and Drew. It's not that deep. I don't even think that Drew or Porsha cares. It's just something that they're doing. I'm not buying the fight that Angela and Porsha had at the end of this episode. Girl, y'all were just laughing and kikiing, girl, 5 minutes earlier. Now all of a sudden, girl, could never got a fight. It's giving, we don't have anything else to work with. So, girl, we're going to have to, basically, we got to work with what we got. Girl. And that's pretty much it. She tells the group that she anticipates seeing Drew later. One thing I forgot to mention is the end of the episode. It was one of the new girls. They were talking about one of the girls that was invited on to the trip. They were talking about Drew and Dennis. And I don't know if it's the way they edited the scene. I don't know if that's what if that's who the girl was talking about. But it sounded as though the girl was saying that Drew sucked off Dennis. Girl. I just think it's a nasty work because, and I don't want to put this on Porsha, but Porsha, these are your friends, right? Friends who you invited to the trip. And this is our first time seeing these girls. And one of the girls has only been on the trip for 15 minutes, is already saying, at least the way that they edited the show, that Drew is crawling in between Dennis's legs for some beats. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it. You would think, and again, Porsha may not have anything to do with this. Sorry, I'm spitting all in y'all face. Porsha may not have anything to do with this, but being that it's her friend who she invited on the show, and the friend is, I don't know if she's regurgitating information that she's already been told by Porsha, or if it's something that she decided to regurgitate because she heard the street say it. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that Porsha introduced this lady to us as a friend. And now she's saying on TV that, or it appears as though she's saying that Drew is girl. She's a girl. She's a throat goat. Ain't that what they call them? A goat throat, girl. You know. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with sucking a little dick. Everybody done sucked a little dick before, right? But girl, you're not gonna go around here putting no dicks in my mouth that ain't been in my mouth before. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that with Porsha being in a situation with Candy and Todd and Phaedra, and then her coming down, I know this was already recorded last year sometime, and then she comes down to YouTube and she says that, oh, the pictures that Kenya showed, or the pictures that Kenya had, a current housewife provided her with those pictures. Oh, and to add another gotcha onto it, Bang Bang Edie was underage. So not only are you saying that Kenya showed child PORN, you're also saying that a current housewife played a part in the distribution of child PORN and then gave it to Kenya. And then Kenya blew these pictures up, put them on a poster board, and showed half of Atlanta child PORN, right? But then you also will champion for Kenya to come back to the show season 17. But you're saying that she participates in the distribution of child PORN, right? And then we watch this episode and we see that your friend is on TV alluding to Drew sucking off your baby daddy, Dennis. I be telling y'all about that Porsha. That's a nasty girl. That's a nasty, 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 nasty girl. All right. I'm gone. We'll talk more about it next week, I'm sure, because it ended off of that. And then Porsha got in her confessional saying that she knows that Dennis likes fellatio. Well, we sure. Well, we'll take your word for it. Okay. She said that he loved fellatio. I mean, she was his fiance at one point, so she should know. But we'll talk about it more. Talk more about it next week. All right, I'm going, y'all. I'm about to lay down. Well, I'm about to get something to eat. Then I want to lay down. All right, bye, y'all.